It's been 8 years since Benedict Cumberbatch's unwieldy moniker became a household name thanks to Sherlock, and ever since the BBC detective show propelled him to superstardom has excavated his niche: antisocial, fiercely intelligent and emotionally detached men. But Sherlock Holmes, Stephen Strange and Alan Turing seem positively well-adjusted compared to Patrick Melrose. A wealthy Brit was introduced to audiences right as he spiraled into an emotional vortex of grief. Welcome to Cumberbatch's TV comeback, daddy issues and one heck of a heroin addiction. A 5-part series based on Edward Street Aubyn's 5-book series, Patrick Melrose condenses a troubled lifetime into a series of pivotal encounters. There are no murders or mysteries to solve. This is pure character study. While the books begin with Melrose's traumatic 1960s childhood in Nevermind, the show switches the order, so the episode based on Book 2. Bad News is our introduction to the character, presumably given Nevermind is set 2 decades earlier because Cumberbatch isn't actually in it. So we begin in 1982, and the titular tragic message is delivered in a phone call. Patrick's father has died in New York, and he needs to cross the Atlantic to collect the ashes. The conversation is wittily captured, but not to portray the shock of death. Melrose is mid-heroin high, greeting his dad's passing with a smirk. You'll either be compelled by Melrose's plight or turned off entirely. What follows is Sherlock does train spotting as Melrose rattles around the Big Apple, indulging his burgeoning habit while waiting to collect his father's remains, going stir-crazy in his hotel room, and navigating social situations under increasing levels of narcotics. There's dark humor in the druggy haze, while Patrick's conversations with others are amusingly blunt. His inner monologue is a constant rat-a-tat of witty asides. His attempt to kick heroin by taking a bunch of other drugs instead leads to moments of whacked-out comedy that alleviate the otherwise relentlessly dark-edged humor. It's a brash stylistic exercise, with Cumberbatch playing every part of his register, often within a single scene. The melancholy tense zaniness of the first episode is an effective litmus test. You'll either be compelled by Melrose's plight or turned off entirely. And yet, opening with that story isn't just a wise move because of its start. The stark and sober second episode skips back to explore the reason behind Melrose's later lack of sobriety. It exposes the true horrors of his upbringing at the hand of his abusive dad, weaving and drunk, victimized mother, Me. It packs an emotional impact episode 1 lacks, but without the laughs to wash it all down, and sets up the rest of the series perfectly.